I mean, this thing's just a nice cruiser. It's got the right arm height over here. Feels good. The car just fits nice. It's just a good car. Sucks to take this seat apart now. I don't want to leave. It's comfy in here. Alright, so I installed the seats and they look beautiful. You know, I might just be able to dye this black and it'd be good as new. I think you wouldn't even know that that's not an original cover. It'd be perfect. Just needs a little polish up, it'd be good. No, I just set these in here just to take a look to see how they looked and to see if the patient would reject the new organ, which doesn't look like she had, so I think we're okay. So I think these are kind of musty smelling, so I'm going to rip these covers off. Now when I bought them, this one was already partially torn apart, so they took a lot of the steps out. I'm going to have to look at the other seat, but originally there's a piece of cardboard that goes back here to help support the back. I have to straighten these seat spikes out, so the tools you really need for this are just pliers to cut. There should be hog rings that attach these two seams together, and there should be wires in these little sleeves, which there's not. We'll have to see how the other seat looks. But this one's already pretty much torn apart, so this one should come apart pretty easily actually. So we'll see. I just have to probably find, right there's one of those clips that comes through the foam and attaches to the wire. You can see right there. So I'll probably, it's either a clip or a hog ring, I can't tell. So I'll just have to fiddle with these. Because like I said, since this is not the original covering, there might be stuff in weird places. But it's already torn apart, so let's get these smelly things off. Alright, so I got the frames off the covers, and I was right, they just used hog rings. So the correct way to do this, you can see there's two hog rings that are kind of chained together. Right there's two of them. Originally, there would be hooks that went through the foam, and then you'd clip the hook over this wire that runs around the perimeter. That meets up with a groove in the foam, which meets up with that little wire channel that's gray right there. That would come through here, and the only thing that was correct was that this burlap was hog ringed to the frame. That was done originally. So they came off pretty easily. It's just a good idea to wear safety glasses when you're cutting hog rings. So I got all that apart. So now I guess it's time to do the seat bottom. I have to take off these bumpers, the screws for the seat hinges or hockey sticks, and then remove the 4 brackets off the bottom of the seat, flip it over, and start to figure out how this one was attached. And it looks like these are the original pieces of foam, because I don't know if you can see that. There's a blue stamp in there, a GM part number. So it looks like they were the original covers, or the original foam, and then to plump them back up, they put some like wool padding or something in there. But overall, these frames are in really nice shape. Like the springs are probably the rustiest part of the whole frame, but over here there's still a lot of original paint, and there's a little bit of rust here, and but this is all surface rust, so it'll clean right up. You'll probably think I'm crazy, but I have a seat in the car and I have working pedals, and it's like a race car. I have an detachable steering wheel, so I can't help myself. Before I take the seat apart, I have to take it for a test drive. So we have working throttle, clutch works and the brake pedal goes down. It's not hooked up to a master cylinder, but it's a neutral. Brake, clutch. Second gear, third gear. Right, that one out a little longer. Fourth gear. Oh, look at that. People say these things drive pretty bad. I think it drives pretty good. Not really going anywhere too fast, but runs pretty good. It's pretty quiet. All right, playtime's over. Alright, so here's the complete seat that wasn't torn down yet. So, first I'm going to remove the hockey sticks, but I wanted to show you what these seat spikes that I mentioned earlier do. So, you pull the back cover down tight, and there's one there, one here, one here, one here, and then you pull this cover over. That's how these two overlap. It looks like we're missing a bumper back here, so that's why this cover is falling. And there's a wire. I mentioned about wires being in here. There's one right here, right there, that goes along in every one of these pieces of piping. So that helps give it its strength. Well, not these pipings, but on the inside it gives it its strength, and it gives you something to attach either these hog rings to or these spikes. So I'm gonna separate the bottom from the top from the bottom, and then also wanted to show you the bottom side of this seat. So 63 seats are unique. The way to identify them is one, by looking at the bottom, if you have this type of a handle. The other seats have 64 to 7 have this little guy down here, this little handle, instead of this one made out of like a piece of rod steel. Another way to identify it is that it has these brackets, these height adjustment brackets. So they have teeth in them that line up with teeth on the frame. So this adjustment with the handle allows it to slide forward and backwards, and with nut and bolt adjustments you can raise or lower the height of the seat in the car. And that was not offered in 64 through 67. Only 63 had that. Just wanted to show the orientation of these brackets before I take them apart, partially for my reference, but another way to identify the 63 seat versus a 64 seat is it's really thin on the top. The 64 seat's fatter. Start the tear down all over again. Alright, so all the hardware is stripped off the seats again. And this is what I wanted to refer back to. So these little sleeves, they actually don't feel like they have wires inside of them. They should have wires inside of them. And you can see all the little hog rings. And if you don't know what a hog ring is, I've been talking about it a lot, but it's basically a little piece of wire it's basically a staple that gets crushed over to pinch for upholstery. Like the ring in a hog's nose. These little pull tabs, these were secured with a hog ring into the hole right here where these springs attached that mount into the main springs. Just wanted to point that out. Those pull tabs are important, and they help kind of pull the material this way so it's not coming loose. Now, this seat was assembled more correctly than the other seat was because, I don't know if you noticed, there's a lot of little hooks here, right, like There, you can see the bottom of it. It's like almost like a paper clip thickness. So you just had to hook it, lift it up, and pull it away from this metal retainer that goes around the edge, which is how they did it in the factory. This is a lot easier than the hog rings. So that was the seat teardown. Oh, look at that. It's like double-sided. It's green on the inside. That's beautiful. You see that? You could like put that in your house or something. That's just nice material. It's reversible. Alright, so that's it for those covers. They're kaput. Here's the progress. I finished up with the seats right now. This one's partially covered. I haven't done anything with this one. These two handles need tack welded on because they rotate a little bit, so I want to get them level and then weld them. But I'm going to do all that in a separate video. Part 1 is going to be, that was part 1 that we just watched, so that will be just getting the frames cleaned up, taking the old stuff off, and then the next video will be putting the new stuff on. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, check out the rest of the projects, both on the 63 and on the 60, which is a new car to the channel. So I appreciate you guys watching. Have a good day. I have a lot of work to do, both on this car, maybe someday on that one, and on the 60. So I'll catch you guys later. Alright, playtime's over. It's a nice steering wheel though. This is, I mean, it's a big steering wheel, but it's not huge. Other people think it's huge. I don't know. I think it fits nice.